May I introduce to you my very first computing experience, the classic compact Macintosh line from Apple. This machine right here is the Macintosh SE FD HD model from 1988, which I have shown in my Falcon 2.2 review. I found this computer from a guy via Craigslist and paid about $75 for it. It did come with its own mouse and keyboard, and it came bundled with a bit of software, including Mac System 6.0.3, though I prefer 6.0.8. Unfortunately, as of this point, this poor little machine is showing signs of failure. The CRT itself is showing some bright spots on the monitor, and even the slightest touch will crash the system while in operation. So it's sad to see this machine go, but at least I know what's wrong with it, and that it can be fixable. Just probably won't be able to restore this properly anytime soon. Thankfully, I was able to find a suitable replacement, and that is this little beast right here. This is the Macintosh SE30, also from 1988, which is basically the same as the SE, but sports a Motorola 68030 CPU clocked at 16 MHz. I got this computer from a huge vintage computer lot from another guy via Craigslist, and spent only $50 on that lot. Now, in case you don't know, I'll talk about this particular series of machines briefly. Back in the early 80s, we had the IBM PC and compatibles, which were very useful for business applications and most importantly, games. The only problem is that operating it was rather complex, as you only had the command prompt and keyboard to work with, and you have to know the exact proper command line functions to get anywhere. It was up to Apple to provide easier solutions for the average user, and came up with the Apple Lisa, which had a graphical user interface, or GUI, and a mouse to use it with, similar to the Xerox Star. Unfortunately, the Lisa didn't catch on, as in addition of it being huge, it was also very expensive. But in 1984, Apple released the Macintosh, which was basically a cut-down version of the Lisa. This was the computer that changed the face of others to come. Now, as mentioned previously, the Macintosh SE30 is packed to the rim with a 16 MHz 68030 processor, which is a significant improvement over the original 68000 CPU in the SE. This computer in particular came with 8 MB of RAM, a 40 MB hard drive, a 1.44 MB floppy drive, and a Cabletron E5000 Ethernet add-on card. It originally came with System 7, but I've since installed 6.0.8 on this machine and works just fine. The screen itself is a 9-inch monochrome display, which means you won't be getting any colors on the screen or even a higher resolution, especially for serious graphical work. On the back of the system, you have your usual ports for Macintosh systems of the time. You have your ADB inputs, disk drive port, SCSI port, printer and serial ports, speaker and headphone jack, and the power plug and switch. One thing to note on the switch is that it's very hard to operate as it is very sticky. For all I know, this system may have fell victim to a smoker. You also have the expansion port, which contains the Ethernet add-on in this particular system, supplying an Ethernet jack, an AUI port, and a switch to toggle between these two modes. I don't have an AUI cable or anything associated with it, but usually the standard Ethernet is the way to go when you're setting up a network connection. However, this particular system has a couple of issues. I have had serious trouble with the floppy drive itself, as it was very sticky, making it difficult to insert the disk into the drive. And I've attempted to put some grease into the drive and failed miserably. So as of now, the disk drive is completely unusable. But thankfully I was able to transfer data using an external 800K floppy drive borrowed from my 2GS, and via the printer cable from my Power Macintosh 6500. As for the Ethernet add-on, I have made many attempts to install drivers for it and was unable to get it connected to the network. The drivers were extremely hard to find, and the installer for this specific driver that I found was very temperamental. So if anybody has any solutions to this, or even has a legit disk image of the Cabletron driver installer, please do let me know. But aside from those issues, it's a working computer, though there are tidbits of inconsistencies with a small fraction of games. Like in Load Runner, the game crashes whenever you click on the screen. And that's pretty much it for the details of this machine, so let's go ahead and hook this thing up. Thankfully, this computer is really simple to set up. Just plug in the power cable and keyboard into your computer, plug in the mouse on the side of the keyboard, and you're ready to go. So without further ado, let's take a look at this thing in action. Okay, that was a little too much pressure on the stick. Oh well. Still a little bit sensitive on the controls, but yeah, improvement in the performance nonetheless compared to the regular SE. Didn't mean to do that. Come on, you. Oh! Jesus. Roll. Come on. Hopefully that locked on. And your history.
Warning, 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 warning. Pull up, pull up, pull up, pull up, pull up.
Didn't sound that way the first time I played this on the SE30, but okay. Still playable. Nah, crap. Okay. Don't you smile at me. Come on. There we go. Killed by a mouse. Oh. That kind of sucked. Oh. That's that. Game over. Gotta do a let's play of this sometime. Pretty awesome game. Oops. Jeez. And that's the classic compact Macintosh. Is the SE30 worth it? For me, it absolutely was. This computer is definitely one of the better machines to go for compared to the standard SE, though the SE FD HD had served me very well also. It was very capable of running games made throughout the 80s, though there were some that crawled on this particular machine. With the SE30, Falcon 2.2 ran like a dream. So I'm very glad to have both of these in my collection, as this line of computers were a part of what made my childhood so great. If you're looking for a black and white Mac, then I would definitely recommend the SE, preferably one with a high density disk drive. Though if you need a bit more juice, then definitely go for the SE30. If you want to see more videos, nostalgia overloads or otherwise, then check these out, or you can subscribe for more further content, and you can check me out on Twitter, DeviantArt, and Twitch, and tune in next time for more nostalgia overloads. Thank you for watching.